In this special video, we will uncover the secrets and explore 11 things you should not say to become wiser and more refined in your communication. You'll be surprised by the 11th tip, a simple yet incredibly effective trick that few people realize. But before we reveal it, let's listen to a short story, a crucial key that will help you grasp the larger lesson of this video. Pay close attention to every detail, as it will transform the way you communicate forever. Imagine a small town nestled among green mountains, home to an old potter renowned for his exquisite pottery and deep wisdom. He was not just an artisan, but also a mentor whom the townspeople sought out for advice, not only on pottery but also on life itself. The old potter had a way of conveying lessons through his creations and the process of making them, turning each pot into not just a product, but a story. So one day, a young man full of energy and a desire to explore life came to visit the old potter. The young man was known for his quickness and ability to connect with everyone in town, but he felt that something deeper was missing in his life, something that would give it true meaning. After listening carefully and observing the young man, the old potter presented him with a challenge to work together in the pottery workshop for 7 days without saying a word. Each day, as the sun rose, he would share a life lesson as they worked in silence. So the young man, eager and curious, accepted the challenge. Day 1. The power of silence. As the sun began to illuminate the town, the potter led the young man to the workbench, where he carefully kneaded the clay into soft, rounded shapes. Without saying a word, he conveyed through his eyes and movements that silence helps us focus and gain deeper understanding. He encouraged the young man to listen to the sound of his own soul and find peace in moments of quiet. Day 2. The value of precision. The next day, as they prepared the clay, the potter demonstrated how to select and remove even the smallest grains of sand. So not everyone needs to know your process, they only need to see the final result, he seemed to say through his gaze. Work with care and discretion, allowing your actions to speak for their own value. Day 3. Cultivating positivity. On the third day, as they began to spin the pottery wheel, the potter molded the clay into a perfectly smooth and round shape. Clay only blossoms when you handle it with gentleness and patience, he expressed through his gestures. Sow seeds of positivity and gratitude, just as you keep your hands steady to create a beautiful work of art. Day 4. Selfless generosity. While glazing the pot, the potter showed how to carefully and evenly apply the glaze before placing it into the kiln. Work with dedication without expecting anything in return, he said with a smile. Create value not for anyone, but for the simple beauty of life itself. Day 5. Empathy and understanding. When caring for the finished pots, the potter showed the young man how to inspect each detail to ensure there were no flaws. Do not rush to judge without understanding, he seemed to convey through his gestures. Put yourself in others' shoes before making any comments. Day 6. Facing challenges. When they encountered a pot that had cracked due to excessive heat, the old potter remained calm. He taught the young man how to repair the pot and transform it into another, even more beautiful creation. Do not let difficulties stop you. Use them to create something better, he expressed with a patient gaze. Day 7. Finding true value. On the final day, as they admired the completed pot shining in the sunlight, the old potter remarked, "True value is not measured by what you possess, but by what you create and share with others." The young man realized that what he had learned was not just the craft of pottery, but also lessons about life. After a week, the young man felt he had grown and changed profoundly thanks to the potter's teachings. He understood that sometimes the most important values do not come from words, but from actions and quiet presence. He carried the wisdom of the old potter with him, finding peace and meaning in each of his actions. The story imparts a profound message about the art of living. There are things we should keep to ourselves, not because they are secrets, but because it is a way to honor ourselves, respect others, and nurture harmonious relationships. These 7 things are others' secrets, personal plans, complaints, acts of kindness, others' flaws, personal fears, and material possessions. And now, let's continue our journey of self-discovery with 11 things that wise people never say. But first, if you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you won't miss future insights. Let's get started. Number 1. Personal financial situation. Imagine your bank account is like a treasure chest filled with precious gems. Would you be willing to hand over the key to just anyone who asks? Of course not. When it comes to money, discretion is not only a sign of sophistication but also wisdom. As an old proverb goes, don't let others know what's in your purse, or you will lose your freedom. Sharing personal financial information is like opening your safe for others. They might find something interesting, but do you really want them to? A study from Stanford University reveals that people who keep their financial situations private tend to maintain healthier and less conflicted relationships. This isn't surprising when you think about it. How often have you seen someone's attitude change immediately after learning about another person's income? Keeping your finances discreet not only helps you avoid envy or judgment from others, but also serves as a defense against scammers and opportunists. It's like wearing an invisible cloak. No one knows you have it, but it still protects you. However, this doesn't mean you have to be completely secretive. The key is balance. You can share financial information when necessary, such as with your partner or financial advisor, but keep sensitive details private. Speaking of financial privacy, did you know that many celebrities also protect their financial information carefully? Once, actor George Clooney joked, "If I told you how much I make, I'd have to invest in 24/7 security." Though it sounds humorous, the truth is, the value of keeping financial information private is undeniable. So, what if someone tries to pressure you into revealing your financial information? You can always gently change the subject. "You want to know how much I make? Oh, look, there's a cute kitten over there." Art might be simple, but sometimes the simplest ways are the most effective. Learning to skillfully dodge questions about money is a valuable skill. Well, you can respond vaguely with something like, "Enough to live peacefully," or "I'm content with what I have." These types of answers act as a soft shield, protecting your privacy without making the other person uncomfortable. Remember, your finances are as personal and sensitive as your own secrets. It's best to keep them under your control and not disclose them to others unless absolutely necessary. In short, a wise person knows how to keep their financial information private, not just for self-protection, but also to maintain control over their own life narrative. So, the next time someone gets curious about your wallet, remember, a little mystery not only adds style, but also makes you wiser. By the way, I will be responding to all comments, so if you have any questions or want to suggest an idea for the next video, feel free to leave it in the comments. I truly appreciate you. Let's continue learning and improving our lives together. Number 2. Protecting privacy on social media. Have you ever wondered if sharing every detail of your life on social media is really the right decision? Imagine your life as a personal journal and social media as the pages you open for everyone to read. Do you really want anyone to be able to read all those pages? Probably not. That's exactly what happens when we share too many details online. Don't worry, we're not trying to diminish the value of social media. They are incredibly useful tools when used wisely. The key is to find the balance between sharing and protecting. Did you know that many top tech experts are extremely cautious about what they post on social media? According to a study by Harvard University, 78% of professionals in the tech field report that they limit or avoid using social media due to privacy concerns. Even the experts understand that each post is like a digital footprint that could last forever. Imagine a photo from your fun Saturday night becoming a barrier during your next job interview. But there's no need to worry too much. There are smart ways to protect your privacy without giving up social media entirely. Have you ever thought of creating separate accounts for your personal and professional life? It's like having two different houses, one for work and one for relaxation on the weekends. This not only helps you distinguish relationships clearly, but also better protects your personal privacy. And about passwords, While they might not seem exciting, a strong password is like a sturdy lock on your front door. As cybersecurity expert Bruce Schneier once said, security is not a product but a process. So make sure you use complex, unique combinations for each account. And forget about passwords like password 123, they don't provide real security. Also, be cautious with the geolocation feature. While it may be fun to tag your location for each photo, sharing too much information about where you are can reveal your whereabouts to unwanted strangers. Do you really want everyone to know where you are at times? That's like wearing a GPS device and handing the controls to a stranger. Furthermore, pay attention to the number of friends you have on social media. How many of them are people you actually know and trust? It's easy to fall into the trap of collecting friends like trading cards, but remember, each new friend could also be a new door opened into your private world. And don't forget about the privacy policies that social media apps frequently update. They may be long and complicated, but you can look for trustworthy summaries or guides to understand the key points. Reading the privacy policy is like reading the manual for a new device. If you don't fully understand it, you might face unnecessary risks. Ultimately, using social media smartly doesn't mean living in fear or disconnecting from the digital world. It means knowing how to control and manage your information. Before posting anything, think it through carefully, filter your connections, and protect your personal information just as you would safeguard your most valuable belongings in life. As writer Oscar Wilde once said, life is a work of art, and social media is just a part of that canvas. Paint it carefully. Number 3. The challenges you've faced. Life is not always easy, and the path to success is full of challenges that few people notice. Your steps along that journey may encounter countless obstacles and difficulties, but the harsh reality is that most people only focus on what you have achieved, rarely taking the time to understand the effort you have put in. People tend to celebrate the results, not the process. Therefore, instead of trying to explain or recount the struggles you have faced, let your success speak for itself. Sometimes silence is the strongest expression of confidence. As the philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, your achievements are the clearest voice of who you are. Do not let words become the shadow that obscures the truth. And as the famous writer Ernest Hemingway wrote, true strength lies in silence and concrete actions, not in complaints. When you choose to let your accomplishments speak rather than your words, you show that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. That is the inner strength of determination and self-control. Imagine life as a book others only read the last page, the outcome of the story. They don't care about the lines describing the struggles and the difficult paths you've walked through. And that's okay, because every success you achieve, no matter how big or small, is the clearest evidence of your effort and determination. Let each victory, each achievement become a mark, a powerful testament that requires no explanation. Let the silence and your achievements tell the story of your life. As a famous quote by the philosopher Aristotle goes, we are what we repeatedly do. Success is not an act, but a habit. When you persist, focus on actions and results, you will find satisfaction within yourself without needing validation from anyone. Number 4. Dealing with provocation. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone deliberately tries to provoke you? It's that uncomfortable moment when you feel your blood rush to your face and sharp words are ready to spill out. But before you react, take a moment to pause. Reflect on why wise people know how to avoid provocation, just like how we might ignore a dish we don't like at a party. Imagine provocation as a sudden thunderstorm. If you have the umbrella of calm, you won't get wet. Or, as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, it's not the events that disturb us, but the way we perceive them. Smart individuals understand that the best way to handle provocation is to divert it rather than confront it. They don't let provoking words affect their mood. Instead, they change the subject or simply ignore it, much like switching the channel when an annoying commercial interrupts your favorite show. Why is it so important to avoid these emotional traps? Our brains, according to research from the University of California, are programmed to react strongly to social threats, much like a natural reflex when facing danger. So this explains why provocation often makes us react instinctively. But the Stoic philosopher Seneca advised, anger is a brief madness. The wisdom lies in mastering your anger, not allowing it to master you. So how can we apply this in everyday life? When someone tries to provoke you, imagine yourself as a leaf floating on the water's surface. The water flows past without leaving a trace. Similarly, let provocations pass through you without leaving an impact. Another technique is to use humor as an invisible shield. When someone tries to upset you, respond with a light joke. Not only will you confuse the provocateur, but you'll also lighten the atmosphere. It's like being a humorous ninja, turning a verbal battle into a playful exchange. Remember, every time you manage to overcome a provocation without reacting negatively, you are building emotional resilience. It's like going to the gym for your mind, and the best part is, you don't need to sweat or lift weights, just stay calm and smile. As Marcus Aurelius said, calmness is the inner strength of the soul. If you find these tips helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more insightful content. And if, like me, you love learning and personal growth, leave a comment saying, I love developing my mind. Let's continue this journey of learning and self-improvement together. Number 5. When faced with rumors. Staying silent is a way to demonstrate composure and strength. Instead of reacting immediately or trying to explain yourself, silence becomes the best way to protect your dignity and avoid being dragged into a spiral of negativity. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, the truth does not need to justify itself, it stands on its own. By remaining silent, you allow yourself to maintain calm and focus on what truly matters, rather than wasting time and energy on unfounded gossip. Philosopher Epictetus also advised, do not let yourself be affected by things beyond your control. Rumors are beyond our control, but how we respond to them is within our power. In life, we may often find ourselves pulled into stories that are untrue about us. However, remember that the truth will always reveal itself, and wise people are those who wait in silence. As writer Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, honor does not come from arguing with others, but from maintaining your own integrity. Your silence will be proof that you are not easily swayed by meaningless words. Instead of chasing after and justifying yourself before every rumor, let your achievements and behavior serve as evidence of your honesty and integrity. Finally, remember that it is not necessary to prove everything to everyone. As Seneca once said, when you know your own worth, you do not need anyone's approval. Silence is not just a tactic, it is a lifestyle that helps you maintain peace and stability in your mind, even when surrounded by the storm of rumors. Number 6. Respecting beliefs and religions. Have you ever found yourself in an awkward situation when someone challenges your religious beliefs? Imagine you are in a group conversation, and suddenly someone begins to criticize or mock your faith. How would you react? You might feel an instinctive urge to defend yourself, like a cornered cat ready to strike back. But would that response really help? Instead, try facing the situation with calm, like a Buddhist monk who maintains serenity and refuses to be drawn into meaningless arguments. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, we cannot control what others think or say, but we can control how we react. Remaining calm and composed allows you to hold on to your beliefs without resorting to anger or argument. As the writer Voltaire famously stated, I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. Respecting others' beliefs, even when they do not respect yours, is a powerful way to show strength and self-control. Understanding and respecting religious diversity helps us broaden our perspectives and build a more peaceful society. Don't let criticism shake your faith or make you angry. Face it with calmness, tolerance, and confidence in your own values. When you do, you'll realize that respect is not just an action towards others, but also a way to protect the peace within your own soul. Number 7. mocking or criticizing others. Epictetus, one of the renowned philosophers of this school, once said, "When you mock others, you do not harm them as much as you harm yourself." Such actions often stem from insecurity or a lack of confidence. It's a way of diverting attention from your own flaws by focusing it on someone else. Instead of mocking, practice understanding and empathy towards those around you. Marcus Aurelius, the great emperor, once advised, "Everyone is fighting their own battles, so be kind and gentle." Seeing life through this lens, you'll realize that everyone has their own struggles, and mocking them brings no positive value. In fact, it only adds negativity to your own life. Self-control and empathy are essential qualities for building a meaningful life. Remember, choosing silence and understanding over mockery not only protects others' dignity but also demonstrates your inner strength. Seneca once said, "There is nothing noble in helping others for recognition. When you choose not to mock others, you reinforce your own calmness and compassion, building a harmonious and fulfilling life." Number 8. Empty promises. Imagine you're sitting in a coffee shop with an old friend, and he asks if you could help him fix his car next weekend. Without thinking it through, you immediately agree, even though you already have plans with your family. Sound familiar? You've just fallen into the trap of making an empty promise. An empty promise is like a blank ticket. It might sound reasonable at the time, but when it's time to act, there's nothing backing it up. And just like worthless tickets, they can cause us a lot of trouble. Why do we so easily fall into this trap? It turns out we often seek others' approval, and saying yes to everything seems like the quickest way to please them. However, in the long run, this approach can become extremely problematic. Think of your promises as the bricks that build trust. Each time you make a promise you don't keep, you're removing a brick from that wall of trust. And like any wall, if too many bricks are missing, it will eventually collapse. So, how can we avoid making empty promises? Here are a few tips. Think before you answer. Before saying yes to something, take a moment to consider whether you can actually commit to it. Learn to say no. This may be a challenging skill, but it's essential. A sincere refusal is always more valuable than an empty promise. Manage your time realistically. You are not a superhero. Accept your limitations and plan accordingly. Be honest when communicating. If you're unsure whether you can follow through, say so. Honesty is always appreciated. Keep your promises. When you make a commitment, do everything you can to honor it. This helps you build a reliable reputation. Wise individuals understand that a promise carries weight. It's not just a casual statement, it's a verbal contract that can strengthen or weaken relationships. The writer and philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau once said, "A promise not kept is a debt unpaid." A large part of trust and reputation is built upon one's ability to fulfill their promises. So, the next time you feel tempted to make a promise without thinking, remember that your words are not petals floating in the wind. They are the strings that bind you to those around you. Smart person carefully evaluates their commitments, knowing precisely what they can deliver. Rather than making grand promises, promise little and deliver more. This approach builds a solid foundation and creates strong, lasting, and trustworthy relationships in life. Number 9. Gossiping and spreading rumors. Imagine you're sitting with a group of colleagues during lunch, and someone suddenly says, "Have you heard about the boss planning to cut staff?" Instantly, curiosity flares up, your heart races, and you feel drawn into the conversation. But pause and ask yourself, do you really need to know this information, and will it be of any benefit? Gossip is like a flame. It may feel warm and intriguing at first, but if not careful, it can spread and burn everything down. Wise individuals recognize that gossip is a double-edged sword. It may create a sense of connection and excitement initially, but the consequences are rarely pleasant. According to a study by Harvard University, 60% of our social conversations involve sharing information about others. This shows that we tend to share others' news as a way to build connections and seek approval. However, this habit carries a significant risk, as unverified rumors not only harm others but also reflect a lack of self-control and maturity in ourselves. Instead of engaging in gossip, try approaching conversations differently. When someone brings up a story about others, you can gently steer the conversation towards a constructive topic or focus on something positive. Writer Ernest Hemingway once said, "The only way to keep a secret is to say nothing at all." By avoiding gossip and focusing only on what you truly know, you not only protect the dignity of others, but also build a reputation of trustworthiness for yourself. Number 10. When angry. Staying silent when angry is a difficult but crucial skill for maintaining peace and balance in life. When anger flares up, we often tend to say things we later regret. Words spoken in anger are like sharp arrows. Once released, they cannot be taken back. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "Anger is a brief madness. By remaining silent in that moment of impulse, you not only protect others from unnecessary harm, but also shield yourself from future regret." Instead of reacting immediately, try practicing deep breathing and taking a step back. As philosopher Marcus Aurelius advised, remember that calm is strength. When you stay silent, you give your mind a chance to stabilize and think more rationally. You can ask yourself, is this really important enough to get angry over? Sometimes silence not only allows you to see the issue more clearly, but also helps to diffuse the tension around you. Remember, staying silent when angry is not a sign of weakness, but of strong self-control. It is a way to show your strength and maturity, allowing you to handle situations more wisely and effectively. Number 11. When misunderstood. When misunderstood, staying silent is a wise and necessary choice, although it may not be easy to do. In life, we often encounter situations where others misinterpret our intentions or words, leading to unnecessary misunderstandings. Our natural reaction is usually to explain and defend ourselves immediately. However, this impulsive response sometimes only complicates the situation further and makes the other person more stubborn in their perspective. As English writer George Bernard Shaw once said, "The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place." Sometimes your explanations are like adding fuel to the fire if the other person isn't ready to listen. In such situations, silence is a strategic and effective approach. Silence does not mean you accept being wrong or let others control the narrative. Instead, it allows you to maintain your composure and create a safe distance to think more clearly about how to handle the issue. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The truth does not need to be rushed, it will reveal itself." Silence sometimes allows the truth to shine through on its own without the need for arguments or confrontation. Moreover, silence helps you avoid impulsive anger and prevents you from saying things you may regret later. As American writer Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "When people talk, listen completely. Most people never listen." By remaining silent, you create an opportunity for others to reflect on the differences and reevaluate what they have said or done. This can lead to a deeper and more constructive conversation when both parties are willing to listen and understand each other. Silence is a manifestation of confidence and self-control. It shows that you do not need to prove anything to anyone and that you know your own worth. As the philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "Silence is a source of great strength." Remaining silent when misunderstood not only helps you protect your dignity, but also allows you to manage the situation effectively, opening up the possibility for the truth to reveal itself over time. And so, we've explored 11 forbidden phrases that intelligent people always avoid in communication. We hope these insights will help you become more tactful and skillful in your interactions, leading you to greater success and happiness in life. Always remember these lessons and cultivate a Stoic mindset to face any challenge with calmness and wisdom. Let every conversation be an opportunity to connect, share, and spread positive values. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to support us in creating more meaningful content. And let us know in the comments which forbidden phrase resonated with you the most. See you in our next videos, where we'll explore more secrets to living a fulfilling and happy life.